Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In today's video I'm going to be trying out a load of new makeup. Some of this stuff I've tried before, some of it is brand spanking new and I'm so excited to get my little hands on, and I'm wanting to do a very sort of spring inspired eye look. I'm thinking pastels, I'm thinking, I don't really know, we'll get to that when we get to it, but I'm just going to dive straight on in. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Millie. I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, but often more than that because I just get so overexcited about makeup. I would love it if you would subscribe down below, but let's just start. I have the new Essence Magic Filter Glow Booster and I want to try and mix this in with a very full coverage foundation because I'm not really wanting that much coverage today. I've got one guy that's living on my face down here, so I do want to cover him up, but I want to see how these two go mixed together because I think that that might look quite nice. I really don't know. So I'm just going to take 2 pumps of the Glow filter and 1 of the foundation because this is like a lot of coverage, maybe a little bit more than 1, and I will mix these together with the end of an eyeshadow brush and I will apply this with a sponge again just to try and dial down the coverage, dial up the glow, and let's see how this looks with this sort of ratio. I really enjoy like concocting my own little foundation combination with these like glowy primers, these glow filters, and I just love that this one has the pump. Just makes it so much easier to use. So let's see how these two mix together. I'm just dotting this all over and then going in with my sponge, and let's just press this in and see what sort of finish we get. Let's hope for the best. Okay, so that combination looks so nice. It's less, obviously it's less coverage, that was the whole point, but it is still like a medium coverage. Like it's taking down the redness on this guy, but it's not completely gone. You can still see some of my freckles, but not all of them. Like it's a decent amount of coverage still, but it's really nice and glowy, and that just blended in with basically no effort at all, which is the amount of effort that I like to put in on an everyday basis. That looks really, really nice, and it's just sort of smoothed over everything, but it still looks really nice and glowy. I really, really like that. I'm going to use this concealer, which is the newest one in my collection, but I've also put it straight into my project pan. If you saw my project pan update, then you will know why, but I'm just going to use the PS My Perfect Colour Illuminate Under Eye Concealer, and I'm just going to use this around my eyes. I will put just a little bit of my Sleek In Your Tone concealer. I'll just put a little bit on you and I'll let that sit before I blend it out so that it will like thicken up and really cover over that spot. It's just not the vibe I'm going for today. He is not welcome. Okay, so that's all blended in really nicely. I am loving how this base is looking. I did let that concealer on the spot just sit for a little while before I blended it in, but that's looking lovely. So onto the coloured base products. I've got the new liquid bronzer and liquid blush from W7, and these are in my favourite type of packaging with the little dotty blender thing. Let me get into them and show you. So this is what the bronzer looks like. Love the packaging and the design of it. I just think it looks beautiful, and then it's this sort of sponge tip little pressy thing, so you can like shake it up, get more product onto that little sponge, and then you just dab it onto your face to put the product on. Now I don't know, I got the shade fierce, and I do think that there was a lighter shade than this, but it looked very grey. I'll put a picture up if I can find one of the swatches. I think they brought out 3 shades and I went for the middle one, so I'm just gonna do a little bit. I don't know how pigmented this is going to be, so I'm going to go lightly and then build up if we need more, but let's see how this blends in. And like I say, I just love this sort of a packaging. I find it so convenient and that is a great colour for me. Wow, this rarely happens. In case you're new here, I often either go overboard with a very pigmented product or just get completely the wrong shade. So this makes a very nice change. So I do feel like this isn't necessarily very bronzy in terms of it being like a warm colour on me. It is almost leaning a little bit contoury, but I absolutely do not mind that colour. I did bring over the new bronzer from Made by Mitchell just in case I needed it, and I do think I will go over this with that bronzer just to add a little bit of warmth. The sun's shining and I feel like I want something quite warm, but I love that colour. That is like my perfect crossover sort of a colour where it's not too cool. Like I say, the first shade looks really grey. This isn't too cool toned, but it's also not too orangey, where I feel like I will be able to layer over a powder bronzer over the top. And then I will just get into the blush as well, and I got this in the shade Skinny Dip. So that's what this one looks like. So it is like clear down at the bottom of the tube here. That's what the colour is. So let's dab this on. Oh, that's a very light colour. I might need to get another blush as well just to layer over the top of this one, but another Real Techniques Expert face brush, and let's tap this in. These are just blending out with no effort at all, but they still look really lovely and blended, but it's just blending with like the tiniest amount of effort. And that's like a glowy finish. Let's again see if I can build this up at all, because I like a lot of blush, so I do want a little bit more than one layer for the blush. Okay, so that's built up really nicely. It's giving a really beautiful glow to the cheeks. Obviously the base was already glowy, but like there's definitely more glow here than there was. I like the colour. It's more subtle than I usually go for, but actually for this sort of a soft spring look, I think that will absolutely do. I am going to use a little bit, just a little bit of my Made by Mitchell bronze Made by Mitchell bronze pods, and I have this in the shade Caramel Kiss. I love this bronzer. Again, adding a nice little bit of glow. All the glowy products today. I'm going to be able to be seen from outer space by the end of this, but this is a beautiful, warm, very natural bronzy shade. And that is just going over the top of that liquid bronzer perfectly. So I don't have any new brow products, so I'm just going to go ahead and use Old Faithful, a really old combination, but one that I love, the Catrice Eyebrow Stylist in Perfect Brown, and I suppose this is a fairly new product, the Collection Incredibrow Brow Glue. So I will be right back when I've got some brows on my head. Okay, so brows are on. I also did just put a little bit of eye primer over my lids. I of course used the Beauty Bay eye base, and I'm going to dive on into the eyeshadow. So I know that this isn't a new to the market palette, however it's new to me and I am obsessed with it. So I'm going to be using this one today, and what I'm wanting to do is more of the greens on the top row because I used the purples the other day and I wanted to use more of the greens to match my green spring gingham dress. So I'm going to start with the shade, I'm going to start with Gingerbread, this orange matte shade, and I'm going to just run that through the crease. Did I even say what this palette is just then? Honestly, I can't remember if I said. This is the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delights 20 colour palette. I tested this recently for the very first time and I absolutely love it. Love it. It's so perfect for it this time of year. I do believe that they are bringing out the, oh, I can't remember the name of it, the wintry one, the blue, and I'm trying to decide if I need it. I think I probably do need it because I love a blue. I love a blue eyeshadow moment. So I'm trying to decide if I need it. I would love to know your thoughts. If you think I need it or not, I'm probably gonna get it. So then that is all blended out just as like a little warm something like through the crease, and I also run that under my eyes. Then I'm going to take a dense sort of flat brush and I think I'm going to dip into the shade Zesty, this bright lime green. I think that that's like the closest to my dress. I think Minty is too mint, like this is more lime. So I'm going to really load it up onto this flat brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to use the shape of the brush to really pack this onto like the inner corner. A little something like that. So we've got the really intense like pop of green like right on that inner corner. I love that colour. It's not necessarily showing up as bright as I was expecting it to. Like I definitely had to layer that up. Like you can see there how that's one like little pass over and you can't really see it all that much. I did definitely have to build it up, but I love that colour. It takes a little bit of work, but we can absolutely get there. So then I am just going over with that first brush just to blend in. So it's got a crisp line on like the outside, but then it does just blend across into the lid, and I feel like I look a little bit like a bird of paradise, but I'm absolutely not mad at that. I think that that looks really good. So I'm just gonna stop fiddling, she says, while still fiddling, but I think I am happy with how that's looking. So for the rest of the eyes, I have two new products from Essence. I have the Easy Brush Liner, which we all know how much I love a brush liquid liner, and I also have the new mascara, which is the Essence Call Me Queen Dramatic False Lash Effect Mascara. So let's see what this wand is like. Ooh, so it's like a plastic bristled wand, but it's very spiky looking. And then the liquid eyeliner is just a brush tip, just a very fine little brush. So let's see how this goes. I really hope that this doesn't ruin what is set to be a good makeup day for me. So I'm gonna try and do a big black wing. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. This liquid liner is like bleeding. It's very, very liquidy, so it's like going into all of the lines on my eyes. This is not good. So that is not the easiest liquid liner that I have ever used. It almost is doing that thing that a lot of liquid liners do, where as you're drawing with it, the tip is drying out. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of that, but let's give this mascara a go. Let's see how well this is going to build up. See how dramatic we can get, because obviously I've got a lot going on the eyes. I want a dramatic amount of mascara, so let's see how this is gonna go. Okay, so that is like 3 coats of that mascara. It's not my favourite. It's fine. It's a very, very wet formula. Like, it feels very wet on the lashes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, it'll dry out and it'll probably get better. I really like the wand, so I'm hoping that it does dry out and just get a little bit thicker and a little bit more volumizing. I feel like this is quite lengthening, but it's not necessarily as like volumizing and dramatic as I would necessarily like it to be. I also got it all over my eyelids, and I did have to just take a little cotton bud and wipe it away because I made a massive mess. And a lot of the time I just leave it, but I've got a lot going on in the eyes. I wanted it to look a little bit neater, but I don't really love that eyeliner. It's not the blackest of black, and it's not very user friendly. It's quite bleedy, like it's bleeding into like a lot of the lines and things that I have across my eyelids, and it's just not the blackest of black. It's not my favourite one that I have ever tried. It was just a little bit fiddly to use. So for the lips, I'm wanting to use this, but I need a lip liner. So I'm going to use just one of my e.l.f. ones, the Cream Glide Lip Liner, and this is in Truth or Bare. She needs a sharpen, so let's go ahead and do that. Then I will line my lips, and I'll just put a little bit of the Made by Mitchell Beam Lip Gloss in IRL. A little bit of that over the top, and then we'll be done. I love that lip combo. I honestly have not stopped wearing that lip combo since I tried out that IRL lip gloss. It's just beautiful. I absolutely love it. So let me sort out my hair, and then I think just a tiny little bit of powder just here, and I think we will be done. So I'm just going to use the Essence Brighten Up Banana powder. I got this free in a Just My Look order when I was ordering those liquid blush wands from Essence. I spent enough to get a little free gift, and I have really been enjoying this powder. So just a little bit just to set right under the eyes so that I don't look sweaty, but I still look really nice and glowy, like out on the cheeks. I really, really like this powder. So that is the finished look. I am thrilled with how all of this has turned out. Like, it's bright, it's colourful, it's spring, it's matching the dress. I love it. I would love to know, have you picked up any of these new products? I would love to know what your thoughts are. As a little roundup, what were the standout products for me? The liquid bronzer was probably one of my favourite products that I tried for the first time today. I really, really like how that looked. Obviously I used one of my current favourite powder bronzers over the top of it, the Made by Mitchell one, but that on its own did look really, really nice. I think I will always need to put a powder over the top unless I'm going for something very sort of natural looking, but love that. The eyeshadow palette I already knew that I loved. The liner and mascara was a little bit of a flop. I loved the combination of the foundation and the glow booster. I think that that looks really, really nice. And what else have we tried today? The lip gloss, already knew that I loved that. And I think that that was everything. The blush I like, it's just a little bit less pigment than what I'm used to, but I do like it. It's just another one I think I'm probably going to have to use another blush over the top to get that very intense pink blush that I like. So let me know if you picked up any of these new bits as well. I would love to know your thoughts. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.